Good morning. It is always nice to know that you are on the other side of that camera watching us today on 3+U. For us, it's a lot of fun because Charlotte Mabry is here to kick off the show this morning. She, of course, has the Charlotte Mabry Team. I told you before the camera light went on, you can kind of be our counselor for the morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. Maybe I should have brought my Tylenol with me this morning, right, or something.
Well, I say that as the counselor, and maybe you mentioned the Tylenol, because if you currently own a home, that's your largest investment probably.
Sure.
So you're curious how the market stands.
Absolutely.
But if you're looking to buy a home, your kids are looking to buy a home, you can still feel kind of white-knuckled.
It's a tale of two cities right now. You know, prices are high. They're not coming down dramatically. They have eased back a little, but for someone who's a first-time home buyer, odds are it's not enough to make it be easy to purchase right now. And a lot of buyers are getting mixed messages. They are hearing, oh, you know, there's foreclosures in the market. There's an uptick in foreclosures. Well, there is, but it's gone from 0.2 of 1% to 0.5 of 1%.
Oh, that's insignificant.
I mean, there's nothing out there. Less than 1% of the homes are foreclosures. So the market has not fallen apart. On the flip side, and I brought some data today to show you, many sellers, almost 60% of sellers right now are needing to reduce their price before their home sells. So they put it on the market thinking it's 2021 and they're realizing, oh gee, it's 2025.
Now you're very gracious in the way you present things, but you have said that before.
Absolutely.
When you are deciding to sell your house and you're looking for a realtor, where they encourage you to price that home is critical.
It is critical, and this slide is a great example of that. You know, Hamilton County right there in the middle, you know, house prices have gone down a little bit from 98 to 97% of asking prices what they're selling for. So we don't see homes sell at 100% or 105%. There's no fighting over houses like there has been in the past.
Right.
So that's good for a buyer. Interesting, like Sequatchie County has moved from 97% down to 94%. So there are some areas of town where it's a little tougher to get your asking price.
Okay, let's talk about those areas of town, because when we talk about here in the television station about the weather, it's always hyper local. People want to know what's happening on their street. So the same is true with real estate.
Well, it's super important when you talk with an agent that you get them to bring you not only the past data, which I have some of this to show you, but also the current data of what's going on, because what is happening in Appleton is different than what's happening on Signal Mountain. And the prices are different, the time on the market is different, what people are looking for is different, and nothing bad about it, it's just different.
So let's talk about what people are looking for a minute, because again, kind of depending on where you are in town, there could be a lot of new build versus maybe some older homes. So if you live in an area where there's a lot of new construction going on, should you try to make your older home kind of look new or just make it look maintained?
I think you should do at least some of both. Maintenance is the very first thing. Many times people will spend money on, you know, fancying a kitchen up or, you know, making a bathroom look amazing, and their roof leaks. So, you know, maintenance is number one. So maintenance, get those things, your roof, your gutters, be sure that everything's in working order. Then from there, yes, you will need to compete, because most buyers today are busy. And most people today don't have the skill set to really fix up a home themselves, so they will pay top dollar to be able to walk in and just plop down and live there.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that dollar figure for a minute, because if you're the seller, you don't want to let your house sit on the market for too long.
Correct.
So that, I know that goes back to your asking price, but again, depending on where you live, that length of time on the market is different.
It is, and I think I've got a slide on here perhaps that might help us a little bit with that too. If you look at, like, this is an interesting thing. Many times sellers say, well, I don't want to pay any closing costs for the buyers. If you look at all those red lines, that's last year, that's in each of the price ranges where people paid closing costs for their buyers, almost half in some areas. So buyers need help. They don't have the money to fix up a house. nor do they have all the money they need for their closing
And
costs.
that, of course, is the reference to that change that occurred last year where it wasn't a requirement anymore.
Right. Sure.
But if you're going to be a motivated seller,
you're going to have to kick in there. And I think this next slide will even illustrate that a little further. This is month supply of properties. So if you look at in each price range, so if you look at inventory that's sitting on the market right now, and it's sitting there because there's more to choose from, it's sitting there because sometimes the seller's priced it too high to start with. There are lots of reasons for that, but there's inventory sitting on the market. And if you look at the last slide I had, this is a current, as of yesterday, next slide there I think, a current, as of yesterday, opportunity to see the market where like Appison, we were talking about this earlier, has a 9, I believe it's 9 months of inventory sitting on the ground.
Wow.
Where Hickson only has about 3.5 months of inventory. Now what that means is, if not another house came on the market, it would take 3.5 months or 3.7 months, I think it is in Hickson, for all the houses to get sold based on the pace that people are buying homes today.
Okay, so if you, keeping it with this screen for just a quick second, if you're a buyer, you might be able to have more to choose from in an area like Appison.
For sure.
But if you're a seller, you're going to have less time on the market if you're in Hickson.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so buyers and sellers both need to work with someone who can give them this data, share this data, and give them perspective. If they are a buyer, what does that mean to you? If you're a seller, what does that mean to you?
I'll go back to the hyperlocal as I let you say goodbye and show folks how to get in touch with you. But that's you in a nutshell. I mean, this is home for you, and you know every part of it like the back of your hand.
Well, we've been very blessed. I'm coming up on 40 years now of doing this, and always have done that here. So been very, very blessed. Not the most knowledgeable, but definitely the most old and experienced.
And always the comforting counselor. So here's
For
how
sure.
you can
I have Tylenol, I'll share.
Here's where you can find her. You see her around town all the time, but charlottemabryteam.com. Call them 593-5588, whether you're looking to buy or sell. She really will guide you towards the answer that's right for you. Thanks.
Thank you.
The President's Day Super Sale at Furniture Row has been extended, so there's still time to save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out special purchases while they last, or score 60 months